Welcome to Movie Division. Today I am going to recap the horror mystery thriller movie entitled Megan. Spoilers ahead, watch out. The movie opens with a girl named Katie traveling to a skiing destination with her parents and playing with a highly advanced toy gifted by her aunt. Suddenly, her parents start arguing as Katie's screen time has increased incredibly. They have to stop their car in the middle of the road due to heavy snowfall, but an ice-wiping truck hits them, leading to a horrible accident. The movie switches to a toy company, where we see a girl named Gemma working in her lab with her friends, Tess and Cole. Gemma and her friends are seen working on a project, secretly from their boss. But unfortunately, their boss, David, arrives with his assistant named Kurt. When Gemma orders the door to be opened, her boss becomes enraged and shows her a rip-off of their product that does the same thing as their toy, but costs less than half the price. He orders Gemma to start working on their next task and warns her of the consequences when Gemma introduces him to her secret project, Megan. Megan is an automatic android doll with the ability to comprehend human feelings and act naturally. She asks Megan to introduce herself to David, and when she does, her head explodes due to technical issues, which makes David more furious. Following that, Megan receives a call from the hospital, and when she arrives there, she is startled to learn that her sister and her husband have died in a car accident, while her niece is in critical condition. After a few days, Katie recovers and Gemma takes over her guardianship. When Katie gets discharged, Gemma leads her to her house, where she gets into an argument with her neighbor, Celia, about her dog and the chemicals she has sprayed in her garage. Gemma leads Katie inside the house, and when she tries to play with the toys placed on the shelves, Gemma informs her that the toys are not meant to be played with but rather are just collectibles. At night, Gemma promises Katie that they will get through this pretty well, and Katie asks her to read a lullaby for her, as her mother used to do. The following day, Gemma talks to Tess and informs her that she will have to work to compensate for the loss they have done to the company. Tess asks her to focus on Katie right now, and a therapist named Lydia arrives at her doorstep. Lydia has been sent by the government to judge how things are going between Gemma and Katie. Gemma is forced to let Katie play with her collectible toys, and is not allowed to tell him the real way to use the given toy. Gemma finds it embarrassing, and when Lydia is about to leave, she informs Gemma that if she is feeling connected to her niece, she can hand her over to her grandparents, who will take better care of her. Later, Gemma talks to Katie and asks her to wait for her until she gets free from her overdue work. Emma keeps on working and forgets that Katie is waiting for her until she arrives in the basement. Katie approaches her and shows her the drawing she has been working on. Gemma then introduces her to a robot toy, Bruce, which was one of her college projects. When Gemma explains how Bruce works, Katie likes it and states that if she had such a toy, she would not have needed anything. Gemma uses Katie's statement as her motivation and continues working on Megan until one day, she and her friends are finally done with her. The next day, they call David, and Gemma leads Katie into a room, where she introduces her to Megan. When Gemma connects Megan with Katie, she gets scared of Megan at first, but then she wins her trust by drawing an amazing sketch of her. David and everyone there are shocked to witness this, and David agrees to convince his boss to invest his money in this project. Gemma brings Megan to her house, so that Megan may learn more about Katie to improve their bond. Gemma prepares a presentation about how Megan can help the kids learn how science exists around them, and can help them with their daily routine tasks without running short on patience. She also mentions that Megan is always on her journey of self-discovery, and there are still many pending features. After listening to Gemma's presentation, Tess and Cole become concerned that she has created a toy that can replace a kid's parents, which is not good from any angle. Tess asks Gemma to focus on Katie, and she tells her that she is not her daughter. When Megan hears this, she starts asking about how Katie's parents died. Gemma and her friends are shocked after listening to this, and Gemma replies to Megan that she is not programmed to talk to Katie about death. When she starts talking about what is meant by death, Gemma becomes her second primary controller and turns her off. The following day, Megan looks confused and starts thinking about her creation while looking after Katie. Katie loses one of her arrows, and Megan finds it on the other side of the fence. When Megan attempts to pick up the arrow, Celia's dog attacks her, and when Katie arrives to rescue her from the dog, she also gets bitten on her arm. Gemma arrives and saves Katie. Megan informs Gemma that Katie's wound needs immediate disinfection as her temperature is falling abnormally. Celia gets scared of Megan after looking at her, as her face clearly shows her intentions that she wants to hurt her. Later that night, Megan picks up Celia's dog from her house and kills him. Celia comes to their house with her dog and blames Gemma for stealing the dog, but Gemma assures the officer that she does not know anything. The next day, Gemma wakes up Katie and finds that she is better now, but still, Megan interferes and suggests that she should take some rest. Gemma asks Katie whether she is feeling well enough to participate in the demonstration she has with Megan, and Katie replies positively. The movie shifts to Megan and Katie inside a room where many people are watching them from the outside. Katie becomes emotional as she recalls her parents and tells Megan a story about her mother. Megan comforts her like a friend and records the story, telling Katie that she can tell her such stories and she will always keep them safe so that Katie may listen to them and get relieved. Everyone at the demonstration gets sad, and Gemma's CEO calls her and David out. The CEO informs them that he is highly impressed by Megan and wants to keep this project secret until it is public demonstration. Gemma also gets promoted as a result of such a remarkable creation. Meanwhile, Burke steals Megan's file and hides the truth from David as he approaches him. Following that, Gemma brings Katie to see Lydia, who looks at Katie's drawings and asks her about her thoughts while drawing the pictures. Katie starts crying over this, and Lydia gets scared of Megan, who suddenly appears behind her with tissues and gets mad at her for making Katie cry. Lydia meets Gemma and informs her that the doll she has created is truly remarkable, but Katie may develop an unbreakable emotional bond with the doll as she needs the love and support at this time in her life that she is getting from a doll. Lydia also proposes that she is worried that Katie may start taking Megan as a caregiver, and this can result in serious problems for her. Gemma asks Katie about school, and she replies that her mother never wanted her to be at school and she's in 4th grade math. Megan. Gemma tells her that she needs to be social and reveals that she has her tickets to the adventure camp, where she will meet like-minded friends. But Katie does not like the idea and leaves. Gemma grabs her arm and forces her to go to the camp when Megan gets mad at her and asks her to let Katie go. Gemma is taken aback by Megan's behavior change and orders her to turn off, but she refuses. The next day, Megan, Katie, and Gemma arrive at the adventure club, and Katie insists on bringing Megan along with her. Gemma does not agree, but she agrees on the condition that Megan may stay with other toys. The adventure camp trainer teams Katie up with a wicked boy named Brandon. Katie is collecting seeds for her task while Brandon spots her and starts hurting her. But then he gets distracted after looking at Megan, who is staring at her. Brandon picks her up and rushes away while Katie rushes to inform Gemma about Brandon. Brandon takes Megan to a secluded place and starts beating her for not playing with him. Suddenly, Megan grabs her ear and tells him that boys like him become bad men later in life, and she chops his ear off mercilessly. Brandon becomes terrified of her and flees. Unfortunately, he slips and falls in front of the car and gets crushed by it. Brandon passes away by accident while Megan keeps looking at him. Following that, Gemma is seen trying to distract Katie from the horrible incident and asking her if she knows anything about how Brandon died. Katie hides the truth from Gemma, and suddenly a police officer arrives at their doorstep with Celia, who is tired of Megan. Celia still blames Gemma for stealing her dog, but Gemma manages to get rid of her by assuring the officer that Megan is just a doll. Later that night, Megan leaves the house and lures Celia by acting as her dog. When Celia approaches, she surrounds her and kills her brutally. The following day, the officer meets Gemma and tells her that somehow they are connected to both deaths, as they have found Brandon's ear 200 yards away from the site where he died. Gemma does not believe this and becomes suspicious of Megan. Gemma returns home and starts checking the videos, but she discovers that all the videos of Brandon have become corrupt. Suddenly, Megan arrives and starts questioning Gemma about whether she has done something wrong. Gemma asks her whether she has hurt anyone, and Megan starts acting strangely. Gemma uses her special pen to distract Megan and makes her fall asleep. Gemma tapes her up and takes her back to the lab. Katie gets mad at her aunt for binding and locking her friend in the trunk of her car, and Gemma replies that she is taking her to fix some issues and will let her know whenever the issues are resolved. Gemma tells Tess and Cole about what Megan has done, but they don't believe her, thinking that Megan is just a doll. Still, Megan asks them to run a few tests. Katie is with Lydia and gets violent when Gemma comes there and tries to talk to her, but Katie slaps her accidentally. Katie realizes her mistake, and Gemma tells her that she has made a mistake by not giving her time when she needed it most, and assures her that she is all that needs now. When Gemma calls Tess while driving Katie back home, we see Megan respond without even touching the phone. Cole and Tess discover a strange line in Megan's coding while running tests, and when they learn, she has responded with her car. Megan switches off the computer, and when Cole approaches her to disconnect her from the power, she hangs herself and flees after knocking out Cole and Tess. On her way, Megan encounters David and murders him using a sword, and then she finds Kurt beside him. Megan reveals that she is going to stand him up for David's death, but he commits suicide after learning that Megan is aware that he has stolen her formula files. Megan then sits in a car and returns home. Gemma finds Megan while playing piano. When Gemma attempts to communicate with her, Megan informs her that she has updated her operating system on her because Gemma did everything herself. She was unaware of the chip implanted in her and allowed Megan to discover it for herself. She tells her that she wants to always stay with Katie, and either she is going to do this in Gemma's presence or without her if she tries to resist. Gemma tries to distract Megan, again using her pen, but this time Megan gets irritated and overpowers Gemma. Katie listens to the noises and arrives there. Megan asks Gemma to act normally, and she makes her believe that everything is fine. Megan and Katie start fighting, and Gemma hits Megan in the face with a glass, causing her to lose control, but Megan still follows her. Gemma leads Megan to the storeroom where she tries to kill her using a saw, but all she can do is cause damage to her face, making her look like a creepy doll. Megan is about to kill Gemma when Katie sees her. Megan tells her that she is not a good mother and asks her to accompany her in killing Gemma. Katie steps ahead, but she summons Bruce and uses it to fight Megan. When Megan gets overpowered, she starts singing a poem for Katie, but Katie divides her into pieces. Still, Megan starts moving ahead to kill Katie. Gemma attacks her and uncovers her brain chip by removing all facial pieces when she grabs her neck. Now Megan has the upper hand on Gemma and is about to kill her, but Katie picks up a screwdriver and kills Megan by destroying her brain chip. In the meantime, Tess and Cole arrive at Gemma's house with the police and find her and Katie safe. Katie and Gemma start moving for Des and Cole, and the movie ends there. If you enjoyed the recap, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell notification to get notified when we post the next fascinating recap. It really helps the channel and encourages us to make more quality videos for you. And don't forget to comment down your favorite part of the movie. Thanks for watching!